Hey guys, it's LEGO Boys E3. This is a walkthrough solve on the Mastermorphix. So today it's just going to be a quick walkthrough solve on this puzzle. It is not going to be a full tutorial on how to solve it, because pretty much you solve it just like a 3x3, but there's a couple of extra tricks that you need to know in order to be able to solve it, so I'm just going to be showing you those today. So yeah, this puzzle is turned and solved exactly like a 3x3, so each of the 6 sides you can do 90-degree turns on, just like I'm doing right now, and we'll scramble it up and we can begin. So the first thing that we'll want to do is find a side that we want to begin with. So I normally start with one that has yellow on it, just for fun. So here's one that has yellow and green, so we'll start with this one, especially because I already have a piece lined up right here. And so now I want to get the other pieces in, so I immediately see that there's a green one right here. And so we can move green up here. So pretty much what we're doing right now is we're getting the cross. And so we'll find another yellow one and put it up. You see that's the wrong way around, so I can just flip it just like you normally would on a 3x3. And now we have most of the cross done. I'm going to keep this one piece open because now what we're going to do is we need to align up the centers. And so basically what I'll do is I'll try and imagine how it would look like if it were solved. So this would be the yellow face right here, because this center and this center are both yellow. And so I'll move the unsolved piece over here, figure out which way I need to turn this. Yeah, I need to turn it this way. And you see now this yellow piece that I had earlier is now lined up with the center. And then I'll use the open piece again over here and line up this piece. So you see both of these are now lined up with their center pieces. This one right here, I'll just keep that lined up. And then finally the very last piece, I'll just do a couple of moves to get it in. So that's pretty much how I would do the cross, the first step. There are slightly different ways of doing it, but that's the easiest for me. And if you need any help with that, I would check out my super cube tutorial, because it's pretty similar to a super cube, the way that you do this. But anyway, the cross is now done, and we're pretty much going to be doing the beginner's method. So now I will start doing the first layer. And so what I'm going to do is find a corner piece that needs to go in one of these 4 slots. Here's one right here. This one, it doesn't matter the orientation. Same thing with the one directly across from that. And so if we want to put in those 2 first, that would be nice and easy. So we'll do those 2. Now we'll find one that needs to go in one of the other slots. I believe this one would go right there. And so now what I do is I just kind of imagine in my head how the piece would go in until I kind of get it right. Same thing with the other one around here. I look at the piece that needs to go in there, kind of think about it. Yeah, it needs to go in like that. Pretty much if you're going to be attempting a cube like this, you should be able to intuitively move pieces around and put them in their right places. And so now I'll start on with the second layer, and so we'll find a piece that needs to go into its slot. Here's one right here. It needs to go straight in like that. And so we'll line it up here and do the algorithm that we use for the beginner's method. Same thing with all the rest of them. So here's one right here. Put it in with the beginner's method algorithm, and we'll just continue to do that with every single piece. And so here's one right here. This one needs to go in like that. And I believe we might have one more. And there we go. Now the second layer should be complete, and now we're on to the last layer. So first, of course, you're going to orient all of the 4 top layer edges and then permute them. And so it would be kind of like getting the yellow facing up and then moving all the yellow pieces around into the right spots. And to be really honest with you, I don't exactly know how to do this every time. What I do is I just kind of mess around figuring out how to permute and orient the pieces. And so right now I would see that if you were to move these 2 pieces together, that they would not be right. So I can conclude that the pieces are not oriented correctly. And so I just kind of mess around with it. You see, now they are kind of oriented correctly, but they're messed up because they're not in the right spots. We might be able to do an algorithm to switch these 2 around. Yes, I just did a T-perm, and that actually did work. Pretty much what you want to do is you want to get all these 4 edge pieces lined up and have this center either correct or rotated 180 degrees. Sometimes it'll be rotated 90 degrees, in which case you just kind of have to start over. And pretty much what I do is I just do the F, R, U, R, prime, U, prime, F prime algorithm, as well as soon a bunch of times over and over again, until I can get it correct. Yep, it's a walkthrough solve, not a tutorial. Anyway, getting on with the beginner's method, we will look and see if we have any pieces that are already in the right spot, and so this one is. And so we hold it like this and do the standard Nicholas algorithm, just like that. until we have all the pieces in the right spot. It turned out we just had to do it one time, but of course if none of them were in the right spot, you'd have to do it once and then get one of them in the right spot, and then do it up to 2 times to get this. And then finally, corner orientation, and so of course these 2 corners we won't be able to tell if they're wrong, but these 2 corners we will fix. And so what we do is we hold it like this and do the standard R prime D prime RD just like this until one of them happens to line up, and make sure to do the last D move there, and then turn it around to the next one, and we'll continue to do R prime D prime RD until it's correct. You see it actually got back to a solved state on the bottom, but this piece still isn't correct, and so we'll just do R prime D prime RD one more time. And this is kind of the weird thing that doesn't come off of a 3x3. You see it's not solved on the bottom, but both of these pieces are in the correct spot, and that means that you just have one of these other corner pieces that is wrong. And so what we'll do is we'll just turn it to one of those, and then continue to do R prime D prime RD until the bottom fixes itself, because it doesn't matter if you just freely rotate each of these little tiny corner pieces. And then once you're finished with this, you'll just want to do the algorithm to finish off this very last center. And so if you don't know that already, it's just R prime U a bunch of times. R prime U, R prime U. I show this all in my Supercube tutorial, but pretty much you just finish it off just like that if you have the piece flipped around. And now we're done with the Mastermorphix. And so there we go. There was my walkthrough, and if there was anything in particular that you didn't really understand, I hope you got it from this tutorial. And if you did not get it, then go ahead and leave a comment down below. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!